howdy there, Internet people, it's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump's mideast moves over the weekend. Okay, so a lot has happened, and while a lot of it is going to seem kind of status quo, there are some pretty big deviations from the norm, in tone and more importantly, in potential effect. It's important to remember, Trump and Biden have very, very different foreign policy styles. So something that could be easily contained a few months ago has potential to spread quickly. I would imagine there will be more developments throughout the week on this one. Okay, so what happened and why? We'll start with the general lay of the land. In Yemen, there is a force called the Houthis. Most countries view them as non-state actors, but they have a lot of control in Yemen and exercise jurisdiction over about 2/3 of the population. They're backed by Iran, and they're aligned with the various Palestinian forces. Because of those positions, they've been hitting international shipping in an attempt to put pressure on the international community. The U.S. and other countries have engaged in strikes against them for a while, and the Trump administration has now continued and escalated that practice. A series of strikes rocked the country over the weekend. And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said, quote, "We're not going to have these people controlling which ships can go through and which ones cannot. And so your question is, how long will this go on? It will go on until they no longer have the capability to do that." The Houthis posted a video showing coffins draped with American flags floating in the water, and also engaged in a coordinated drone attack against the USS Truman carrier group. Early reports suggest that U.S. fighters knocked all of them out of the sky. It looks like there were about a dozen and a ballistic missile. The ballistic missile reportedly missed completely, and there's speculation about a malfunction. The U.S. has indicated it will hold Iran responsible for the actions of the Houthis and demanded Iran stop its assistance. The U.S. has also not ruled out striking at targets closely linked to Iran and Yemen. Iran has said the U.S. has no right to dictate its foreign policy, and one of its generals seemed to promise a response if Iranian targets were hit. So, if you've been paying attention to the region over the last year or so, a lot of this seems like the status quo. It's important to remember that a key aspect of Biden's foreign policy was designed to prevent a regional conflict. While it hasn't really been demonstrated yet, Trump's foreign policy rhetoric doesn't seem to have that same goal. And there's a chance of the administration pursuing a far more aggressive posture in the Middle East as a whole, and with Iran in particular. So while this might seem like a rerun, there are very different dynamics. Not just within the White House, but Iran may see a vulnerability because of the U.S. trade war, fraying relations with longtime allies, as well as Iran's better relationship with Russia. The short version is that this isn't a development to ignore. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.